Hello friends, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching this video. Friends, we have ended with one good week as far as Wall Street is concerned, and it's not only about Wall Street. If you're looking at the stock market across the globe, it is showing some sort of resilience, as if most of the uncertainties the stock market is trying to factor in. Let's understand one thing very clearly. I'm talking about the stock market and the not the real economy. I'm talking about the real economy. Real economy will have to face the pain. You and everybody else has to spend much more money to buy the daily needs or to purchase the daily needs. That's not going to ease off very quickly. But what I'm talking about is the stock market, and we can see how Wall Street is showing resilience, or overall market showing resilience after a very big spike in the inflation number, uh, as well as there is certainty, almost the prediction is there that the next hike is going to be a percent rather than a 75 basis points rate hike. It's going to be a 100 basis point rate hike by the Fed. So instead of that, the stock market is or has moved higher. So let us see what lies ahead as far as this week's USA weekly stock market report is concerned. Things looks quite good right now for the US stock market, and for the last 1 week the overall stock market has started showing resilience. So let's quickly start going through the important news, then we will start with the chart. But before that, if you haven't yet subscribed my channel, just hit on the subscription button. Also hit on the notification bell along with the all button to get my updated video notification. So this is the first big news about they are going to the US now, approaching Saudi Arabia for oil. We don't know what will happen, let us see. Apart from that, inflation will likely to be tamed next year when rate hikes started to work, IMF chief says. So I keep my reservations on this statement. We will see, because stock market, when you are talking about stock market, it's going to factor in things much quicker than anybody expect. And this statement is mostly for the real economy and what will happen as far as the overall price is concerned for our daily needs, groceries, energies, food. So I don't want to go much into it. Apart from that, we will see how Dow Jones has performed, and Fed expectations gone wild, how rate pricing went so crazy this week. And apart from that, China's GDP growth misses expectation in the second quarter. Now this statement or this headline has its own relevance, because China is the world's biggest commodity consumer, and if there is a slowness in the growth of China, which simply means the commodity price will go down, because most of the commodities are traded. So you will see that commodity price will go down. So that's one good thing, but we don't know how far, how long, or how much time it will take. Then things going on between Elon Musk and Twitter, and we will see. We will try to look into the Twitter chart as well if possible. Apart from that, Citigroup tops profit estimate as bank benefits from rising interest rate. Shares surged 13%. Now this is one of the thing which you need to understand, because banking stocks have their own phase from 1980s, 1990s till 2007, and then US gone into 0% or in between 1 and 0% interest rate, and generally banking does not work like that. Okay, if you want, I have already made a video on Citigroup. You can go and probably check out the stock analysis of Citigroup. Generally banking works in an environment where you have healthy interest rate, because the differential will be the profit, and if interest rate goes higher, I'm saying about the normal interest rate. I'm not talking about running inflation where the central bank has to interfere and push interest rate higher beyond a certain range, so that things will go haywire. But a certain amount of positive interest rate is always good for the economy as well as for the banking. Apart from that, let's see. Apart from that, so this one, JP Morgan CEO says US economy in one paragraph as it sounds bad. So this is also quite interesting. Russia's squeeze on gas means Germany's energy giant is having to draw supplies from storage. Now, you know, uh, it looks like the US will get the excess, but the main problem has to be suffered by European countries, and unnecessarily pushing themselves into geopolitical crisis now have its own ramifications, because for cold countries, gas or natural gas or energy is one of the big concerns, and it looks like things are not sorting out quite easily if you are looking at the recent updates or recent developments going forward. So I wish or I pray things will go easy or smooth going forward, and people do not have to suffer. So that's what I can wish or pray for. Nothing more, nothing less. Now I think most of the things are over. Now let's quickly go to the stock market and let's see what's happened. There is a very good close. Dow Jones has indeed shown a very strong move of 2.15%, 658 point higher. Then we have Nasdaq 1.8% or 200 point higher. A cumulative impact on S&P 500 nearly 2% higher. Then we have gold, it's also moving higher. So gold will not move until and unless interest rate cycle changes. If interest rate continues to move higher, gold will go down or it will move sideways. Oil, first time I think after a couple of weeks, when I'm saying couple of weeks, I'm talking about 3 or 4 months, I can see oil closed this week below $100, so that's a good sign. US 10-year yield now started moving down and it is now trading at 2.92. It will holding consistently above $3, that's a bad sign. And VIX has also started moving down, so that's also good. Apart from that, the problem is natural gas. Natural gas has now started moving higher again. Okay, so 7%, $7.111 is not at all a good sign. If things moves like this, it is not at all a good sign, let me tell you, and it is indicating that things are not good. And apart from that, yeah, most of the yields have started falling a bit. We don't know whether it will be a change in the trend or this is just a couple of days worth of correction. And I would say a big correction has indeed happened in dollar index, because the way the dollar index was moved, like it went up to 109. So I mean, the way it is moving like a stock. So I mean, currency moving $1.1, $2 in a day or two, it's not at all a silly thing to watch, because it creates lot of havoc across the global market. So things does not go well if dollar index moves higher and in such a furious manner. So 109.37, I think, yeah, 109.3 was the high that dollar index has made, and it is now trading at 107.98, or you can call it as $108. So 108 is also a bad thing. And as far as upside is concerned, if this is the way dollar index continues to move, because a breakout has already happened. Okay, if you are looking at dollar index, a breakout has already happened above 103. So the next move, as far as I am concerned, so here we are, So for dollar index, you have, it has already crossed 103.87. Now the next target we have here is going to be 110, and if it surpasses 110, a possibility of 119 and 120 is also there. As I have been saying this thing, whether it will hold in between 110, 120 and somewhere in between 115, 16 it started falling down, that's a different thing. But as far as the levels are concerned, 110 is going to be your next target, and then we have 115, and if it moves further above 115, you have 119 and 121. Okay, so things as of now looks in favor of dollar index, which means we have to literally see things, and slight change in dollar index will push stock market sharply on the upside, because consider this as a big short squeeze. Now talking about the Dow Jones is something which is showing resilience, and some very sharp or big resilience, and there is a reason, because these are most of the constituents of Dow Jones they are like old economy stocks. Okay, so they performed sometimes well when the interest rate moves higher, because most of the company they have the purchasing power, and where the technology stock which works in a zero rate environment, they will not going to work in this environment. So people looks for safety, and they will keep on changing the sector, the stocks. So in that scenario, Dow Jones has the upper hand. Now you can see the support level has indeed tested nearly 30,000, and Dow Jones is holding above 30,000. If it falls, then it will move towards 28,300. If it does not, if it continues to sustain above 30,000, then the levels that we are going to look at, okay, as simple as that. If it continues to sustain above 30,000, then the next swing will push Dow Jones towards or in between 41 and 46,000. So this is some big statement that I am making, but this is not for short term, this is for long term, because we don't know the actual move, and we don't know where it can go, okay, right now. So the simple thing to understand here is just check whether it is sustaining above 30,000 or not. If it does, then we will move higher. As far as Nasdaq is concerned, actually it has also started trading and taking support at the 200-day weekly moving average. That's also a good point. Okay, that's also a support, but we have to see. Okay, we have to get the confirmation. So if it continues to sustain above 10,850, then it is fine, or I would say the recent low that it has made, let me show it to you. The recent low that it has made is here we are, 10,560. So with 10,560, considering this as your stop loss, if it continues to move higher, then trend is probably changed. Otherwise, if it falls further on the downside, then we have 9,335 and 8,700, which is going to be your big support. Okay, so this is what you can see as far as Nasdaq is concerned, and your upside is anyways intact. Okay, if it turns around from 10,500, or if it will turn around from 8,700, it does not matter, because the upside you have here is in between, or will be in between 20 and 26,000. Okay, so this is what we have here as far as Nasdaq is concerned. And gold is something so you can see the price chart of gold, and now gold is right now trading at one of its important support level. So make sure This is the chart of gold futures. Make sure it must not fall below 1680. 1680 is going to be your important support as well as your stop loss, so don't try to go below 1680 on the downside. This is your range. This may be a buying opportunity, but go with a strict stop loss of 1680 on the downside, and on the upside you have 2000 and you have 2081. Okay, so this is what we have here as far as gold futures is concerned. Now one more thing to understand here is, so I have talked about the price chart of Twitter. So this is how the price chart of Twitter looks like. Now it does not matter. So the good thing is share price has the Twitter stock price is now trading at 37.74. Okay, the deal, if I remember correctly, has been pitched at $44, but right now it is trading at 37.74. and if you are looking at the trend, it may retest the lows of 29 and $26 on the downside, and only if the stock of TWTR or Twitter moves and sustain above 48 or $49, then only we can think of an upside. Right now it's been moving down, and although it has started moving higher after testing $32, but there is still a possibility, we have to see, still a possibility of 29 and 26 on the downside. Otherwise wait for the stock to surpass $49 for the next big move. So stock market started showing some resilience. If the resilience hold or not, we require further confirmation, and that we will get probably in the next 10 days, 8 to 10 days, because that's where the Fed might happen. That's where the Fed declares the next interest rate hike, and that's where you can get to know about their verdict on how or what they are thinking about the economy, about the interest rate cycle, or about their next for the next time, or in the month of August, what they are going to do as far as interest rate hike is concerned. So all these things we will get to know in the next 10 days, and hopefully then we will see how the stock market respond, because till now most of the things which are there in the market, which which I know, has already been factored in by the stock market, and stock market looks fine as of now. So this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.